Welcome, everybody. It is me. It is Cyber Warrior, and y'all know what it is. It's Friday. This is Security Happy Hour, presented by CyberWarriorStudios, which just happens to be me. What do you know? So, anyways, look, it's going to be an awesome show. We got big things planned, and I'll go ahead and see you here in a bit. And we're back. And look, I just got to say thank you. We have Eric Bellardo, my comedic relief, my wingman, my partner in crime. He is back. Welcome back, Eric.
Did you guys miss me? It's nice to be here.
I'm sure everybody missed you. So with us today, and she's got an amazing story to tell, I'm sure. But Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us. I can't thank you enough. It's amazing having you here and seeing the organization that you're building.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't know if I call you the Cyber Warrior, Derek, but really appreciate it. This has been, a great opportunity to come on here. So I really appreciate it. I've been following you guys since I was volunteering for a cyber supply drop, last year. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah,
happy to be here.
Definitely. And hey, look, we don't need more Eric. What I need is a hashtag Security Happy Hour. I need you to send that out in all your feeds, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it. Security Happy Hour. Share this. Let people know about us. But while we're here, Kimberly, you have an amazing journey. You have an amazing story. So why don't you start us off and just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey into how you got from, well, let's be honest, you were doing hospitality and you are a co-founder of a cybersecurity organization that helps others.
That's right. Sorry, I don't see it right here. Yeah. So, yes, thank you so much. So really, I started in hospitality. I'd say as my first main career that I stuck with for years. I was there for probably almost 15 years or so in hospitality. I started at a private resort. After that, I actually did a little stint, worked as a civilian contractor for the government over in Kuwait. So I did that with my husband for a little bit in 2009 when everything kind of dumped over here. We went over there for a little while his sister was working over there too. And yeah, it was a great experience. Whole new appreciation, for everything, especially our military and our great United States of America that we have here. So, but yeah, really was a great experience. And then after that, went back into hospitality, came back. Everything was going good again. And I started with Hilton. I worked at a resort that they had a property, did everything from, front office. I started there doing kind of an assistant type role, night manager type thing. After that, I worked for the sales department. I was a coordinator over there for what they call catering and events. It's really all that wrapped in one. If you go to book an event somewhere at a hotel, I'd be one of those people that would help you there with that. Let's see. My dad got really ill at one point, and I had to figure out what was I going to do to be able to spend some more time. Hospitality was just really, especially in catering and that whole end of thing with events, it's a big time suck. So I found that the corporate Hilton actually had, when you call in to get those reservations, those nice, friendly people answer the phone and they walk you through when you're confused or you're not sure, or maybe trying to sell you something that you maybe don't want. But it was really a job that I enjoyed too. And I found out that they did that work from home. I decided to do that part-time, and it was with corporate versus being at the, wouldn't really say franchise, but at a property that was privately owned and managed. So that was a whole new ball game. It was a lot of fun. I did that role for about 6 months, went over to luxury, and then got into recruitment. Kind of fell into that during a temporary role, and I absolutely loved it. I love people. I love learning about people. I love to help others. Definitely one of the biggest things in my life, that I look to do. So it was a great place to be able to do all of that. Worked closely with the military, ran an ambassador program that they have there for military spouses, and really was deep into the military networking community too. So I have a big passion for that as well. No military myself, but kind of throw that in there a little bit later. I have a brother that's in cyber, that's in the Air Force, that was in the Air Force. So we do have some of that in our family. And then we had the pandemic come along, as we all know, in 2020, which affected so many of us. And that brought it all to an end, unfortunately. So, or I should say maybe fortunately, right? So we're here today. So I think it was one of the best things that could have happened. And yeah, really led me here. So in a nutshell, I guess that's really what I did prior. Did a lot of things under that umbrella in hospitality. But yeah, it's something that I wanted to do. I talked to my brother a lot about his role in cybersecurity. When he got out of the Air Force, he went into, oh gosh, I'm gonna get it wrong, UCF or USF, that has a big cyber program there. And actually now they have a big cyber program. When he went, it was more of the IT security, information assurance type of thing. And he went for that, came out, went straight to a SOC here in Florida. And he also has had a clearance and things like that. So he was able to get in there, do that type of a role. And he did SOC, I want to say, for maybe a year or so, and then transitioned into a security engineer type role. And then now is in a senior role with a unicorn startup. So he's went around, he's had a lot of headhunters. I've watched that happen with him. And I was like, we talk about it so much. And he said, you'd be great at it. You do a whole other side probably than what I'm doing, but there's so much to do. So it wasn't a more perfect time, I think, when that happened. I just kind of sat back for maybe a week or two, a little stunned with everything, while we were on furlough, trying to figure out what was going to be next. But oops, sorry, excuse me there. But yeah, that really led me into taking cyber, taking that seriously and saying, let me try to pursue this, see what I can do. I researched night and day. I was looking up everything that I could. I figured while I was unemployed at the time from the layoff, that I should maybe take advantage of some of the opportunities through education that I could do to reskill myself. And unfortunately couldn't find a cyber specific program, but I did find a program that was really all encompassing. It did everything from A+, Network Plus, Security Plus. We had CCNA thrown in there. I've got all my books and stuff back there. We even did CISSP, CEH. It was like boom, 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 boom. All of that happened really last year through that program, and was a lot of fun. It was very intimidating, as a lot of people say, drinking through that fire hose as you're trying to learn some of that stuff. I do not have all those certifications. I have my A+. Okay, I was able to pass all the courses. I have a lot of some vouchers that I'm looking to take advantage of as well and get some of those out of the way. But I'm trying to kind of do a lot. So really, I think this year has been kind of honing in on that focus and trying to determine what's going to be the best way to really continue my passion, which is with like Cybersecurity Central and helping people and continuing this research and discovering everything in cybersecurity. It's such a wealthy field, I think, just full of information and so much to learn. And I'm really addicted to that. So
let me ask you a question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now that you've done all this research in all the different areas of cybersecurity, what are the areas that you're most interested in cybersecurity? In the blue side, the red side, the purple side, the green side? What is it that really sparks your curiosity?
I really like a lot of I don't know which side you put it on specifically, but the OSINT side. And I think I'm just naturally, like I said, it goes back to the research. So my co-founder that I have, Michelle Murphy as well, she is a volunteer for the Anti-Human Trafficking Initiative, which is out of Canada. And so we do quite a bit of that, ourselves, a little bit behind the scenes. We've done some of the trace labs and things like that. So that's really what I love. Again, it's, I think, maybe more related to the human side of things. I enjoy, as far as the tech side goes, networking, I really like it, but I don't think I'm at a level to bring that into network security yet, to get there. I'm kind of all over the place. I'll be honest, Eric. I like a lot of stuff in cybersecurity. I'm not sure if right now I'm in a program for cyber defense, and I'm liking a lot of the things that we're going over in there with our digital forensics and just, there's so much in there. But I said if I have to lean more one way or the other, I'd say blue team is probably a lot more on that side of some of the things that I'm finding myself a little more attracted to. But I'm pretty diverse myself. So
and it's great that you're looking. Yeah, it's great that you're looking at that OSINT side of the house, the research side of the house that falls into that cyber threat intelligence piece. The researching of vulnerabilities, what's coming from the outside, what's happening inside, that's in the blue side. Cyber threat intelligence and cyber hunting is an amazing part of the field. I've been in the blue side, even though I've done most of it, but I've been in the blue side for 20 years. So it's where I have the passion in.
He's lying. It's been like 80 years. He's been around since dinosaurs roamed the earth. So don't let him
You shall not pause.
So, but
that's hilarious.
I do. I welcome you to the ADD Generalist Club because that's
Ah,
where I
yes.
lie.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
Let
You've
me
got
say,
a
did you do my
question right
post
here.
together earlier this week? Because I actually did a post about ADHD and all that too. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I haven't
the
seen it, but
CTI.
yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, CTI. I have met so many people, Eric. I think that I have been networking. I think you're right that might be an area really too that I'm attracted to because I'm meeting so many people and finding people that I'm reaching out to and connecting with, and that's what they do. So, Megan Jacquat is another. I hope I'm pronouncing her last
Yeah.
name correctly. Is
Megan?
amazing, and she's someone I connected with along the way too. And yeah, she's into OSINT and all of that, but she's with a company now. I think I can say probably Recorded Future, and does CTI there with them too. So yeah, that's very exciting. So I would say you're right. I would say that's really, if I had to pick specific, that would probably be where I would go.
And
On
it's
the tech side.
it's super fun because you get to see things and feed all the other
Mhm.
all the other people, the blue side, you feed them on, hey, listen, these are the things that are coming in, to the red side saying,
Sure.
hey, this is something you can exploit and help and find out, to the vulnerability side, let's make sure that these threats that we just found, so it's a, I always say that they're the first ones to see what's coming over the
Yes.
horizon. So
Yes.
it's a really interesting part of our field.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah.
And really where all of that information, I think comes from that where, I watched Gerald Ozier's Simply Cyber. Well, he does so many shows now, but in the morning, I'll put his little plug in for him here. The first thing first that he does Monday through Friday. We talk about that a lot. I mean, really just reading those intel reports and that information that we have coming from the threat research side. That's pretty much what's in the news all the time. So
He's always LinkedIn live, I swear, every time, because I sit on social media and that man,
Yeah.
every 2 seconds I just see a pop up. Hey, he's live now. Oh, okay. Let's enjoy it.
He's doing a lot now. Yeah. He came out with
It's
a new show on
crazy.
Friday, and yeah.
So
Doing
let me
quite a
ask
bit.
you a question though. So you've done all this, you did hospitality, and you've really delved into learning and growing in the field. And we talked about this on a previous show. The CCNA is a great way to understand networking and learn
Yes.
more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, Eric, why are we showing your
you-
old gray beard face?
Do you
What is this?
recognize somebody here?
Oh, look it. There you go. And look, see, I'm working on some stuff for that right now in the middle there. I see that logo. Yeah, this is great. Very nice. Yeah, he's all over the place,
So as I was saying, because Eric had to interrupt me as he so frequently does.
Hey, it's happy hour.
Did you say you missed me, Odo?
I do miss you. So
Of course he
but you've done all this, and we discussed it, a few episodes back, where the CCNA is a very valid certification to get for network, because beyond the Cisco stuff they teach a lot of other things.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
what in your learning, what in your journey sparked the interest to start the organization that you started?
Well, it goes back to what we talked about. It was the research. I found so much information that I felt like, I was just sharing it, so maybe if you go back, I know I'm not as active on my personal, LinkedIn. I do share a lot now of what I put through Cybersecurity Central, but prior to, I was doing a lot of just information that I would find, the things that I was researching and finding, I'd throw it out there. I'd put a little, whatever I found useful from it on LinkedIn, which a lot of people do this stuff, but I found kind of what things worked a little bit better than others and what things people really liked more than others, but it was really based on a lot of it, I'll be honest, what I found interesting when I found it. If it was something that I found and it was just boring and it didn't excite me, I'm not going to share it. It's probably not something I'm going to try, note down myself. But I just found people were reaching out to me because of those posts and asking me, hey, do you know anything on, maybe Purple Team? And I'd maybe throw out, DFRI or DFI or DIVA and, things like that, and just resources that we had that I would find. And even still now, I have so much information I need to dump from the phone to my, tablet, from my laptop, just all over the place in drives. I have all of this information. And I have something behind the scenes on Cybersecurity Central's website. Really what we have right now is more of a splash page, just kind of tells you what we're about, what we're doing, and where to find us. But there's a lot of resources back there too that we're looking to put out. And I want to be a little different about doing that. And that was the original vision for Cybersecurity Central, was to be a central space for all of these great resources that have kind of been vetted out, and not just something that I pulled from people's GitHub pages and,
Yeah.
found and copied and pasted and threw up here, because that's what I found tons of. And it was just, I spent hours and hours and hours, just, countless, hundreds of hours probably, over the year, really just trying to filter through all of that stuff and say, okay, what's the good stuff? What's the bad stuff? Where's the stuff where they just copy and lifted and took it from this really good, white paper or something over here? And just trying to filter through all of that noise, I guess we'd say, with all the information, because there's tons out there. I mean, as we know, you can really teach yourself whatever you want to do, but especially when it comes to tech and cyber, I mean, there's no excuse not to be able to say that you can't get a hold of knowledge and information, especially free or next to free. It's just a matter of taking the time to do the research. And I realize I've talked to a lot of people. Some people just can't. They're limited on the extent and layers and depths that they can go. And I'm one of those that can really go pretty deep in that layer before kind of getting into the rabbit hole, and, just found it useful. So that's really where it all grew out of.
And yeah, definitely. And I know Eric as well as myself, we see rabbit holes, and unlike you who maybe avoid it, we tend to.
Oh, I go down them too, but yeah.
We tend to jump face first and head first into them, going, you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, let's go for it. Whee!
And the challenge that a lot of people have is, I say it almost every single time that I get in front of camera is, cybersecurity is a field, not a job. And people go and say, hey, cybersecurity, I want to learn cybersecurity. And my next question is, what do you want to learn in cybersecurity?
Yeah.
It's like saying healthcare, right? You can be a doctor, you can be a nurse, you can be an EMT, you can be an X-ray tech, and people don't understand that. So we have an issue with that. And then once you get in there, you say, okay, well, I really like, and one of the reasons I asked you that question was, what do you really like? Tell me the top 3 jobs that you really want to learn. And that's when I tell my mentees or peers or anything like that, is like, here's the resources for that specific job.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
And we don't have that, in the field, because you've got a lot of people that want to learn red team, and I want to be a hacker. I want to be a hacker. I want to be a hacker. It's like, wait, hold on. Is that what you want to be? Or do you want to be this? Or do you want to do this? And this is what you got to learn before. And it becomes really tedious to try to find that. So I think the first thing that I tell people to do is, what is it that interests you? What is it like you? You like research. You like finding things. You like going to. So that for me goes, okay, well, CTI or cyber hunting, or the research side of the house. And I think that's very important, that we start telling people there's more than just cybersecurity.
Right. No, totally agree. And I think that is the biggest barrier I see for that people put on themselves. But it's because we don't, I'll be honest, I was there too. I didn't know. So what I knew was to research, just keep researching. You try to do some things, but then I'd learn, wow, you can't do too much, right? You can't try to do all these things at once. It's not going to work. So it just takes some time for people. Some people are quicker than others. Some people for me, I was also going through a career transition in general, and experiencing, having over a decade in a career and coming out of that through the middle of the pandemic, also being, in my 40s now, and just looking at things a little bit differently. So there were a lot of different factors that came into play into there. But I think a lot of people, like you said, cybersecurity is so huge, and almost everybody that's reached out that is looking to get in that aspect is at that barrier. That's the obstacle that they are at, that they are trying to figure out, because they went to people who have said exactly that. Tell me, what is the top 3 things you want to do? Or what is it that you want to do in cyber? And they're like, but I don't know. I know there's all these different jobs, and you can go, to the websites and see on the NI, I don't know how to say all these, but the NICCSS and the NICE and the NIST and all of that. So, and I found a great one too, just want to throw out there, Cyber Nights. And I haven't been back on there in a while, but that was one of the most, how should I guess say it, that they really took a lot of factors into consideration when they did that. There's 2 different, or at least at one point, there were 2 different assessments in there. One that's more of a personality assessment, and then one that was a little bit more of a technical assessment. And then it grows with you. So as you're learning things and as you are gaining certifications or maybe taking courses or just picking up those different skill sets that fall into this big cybersecurity umbrella that we have, and it places it for you in these areas to show you, to help you and guide you, because people can't just say, yeah, that's why we hear, I want to be a pen tester. Yeah, I want to be red team, and we say, oh, we have this huge problem because everybody wants to be a pen tester or a SOC. Well, because that's what we hear. It's just wherever it's coming from, that's the noise that's there, and people are trying to determine like what is the route. I see all these maps, but again, it's information overload everywhere. You look at the career maps and you're like, okay, there's like 200 things on there. So let me go ahead and figure out how I'm going to start tracking that, and it's not easy. There's no bridge, nothing easy there to get you there. So that's one that I found.
And I'm going to say something, cool. And I'm going to say something that's kind of controversial, but it's just me being me.
Right.
So one of the things that because you said something that made my spidey senses go up, is there's a lot of different. Oh, don't. Okay. So there's all these personality questionnaires, and there's different ones out there, and I know of about 10 different tools out there for people that are entering the field. And my opinion, after seeing a lot of them, is that a lot of these can be, can hurt the people because they feel like, well, I really want to do this, but my questionnaire says I'm better for this.
Yeah, right.
And it tends to demoralize some people. So it doesn't.
I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. Yep.
I personally avoid those types of questionnaires because to me, you can be anything you want.
Right.
You can do anything you want. You just have to practice and be there and try it out. And maybe it's not for you. And, I've been in this career field for 32 years now, 32 years in cybersecurity. And, I've tried different things, and I tried to do the different jobs. And I finally found a job that I liked. And I did that by experiencing the job.
Yep.
And sometimes learning the job versus experiencing the job is completely different. And, there's this meme out there that says, the tech interview, and they have like a big Godzilla on it, right? And the job, and they have like, the purple dinosaur, the whatever his name is. Barney, thank you. And they have like Barney for the job, right?
Yeah, right.
And that happens a lot. These interviews can be like, do you know what the, OSI model, say it upwards and backwards and 3 times fast,
Sure.
And you're like, are you going to really use that in your day-to-day? Not really.
Right.
It's
right.
So you've got a lot of these jobs that are really interesting, and some people like you probably wouldn't know that the CTI side of the house or this or that or the other is your passion, and then you might go and do data forensics or disk forensics and say this is the kind of research I want to do versus network forensics that's like reading PCAPs. It's just
hey, Eric,
experience.
Can you not like lose your enthusiasm on that one? Come on now, man. Like
no.
Some people enjoy it.
You're saying though, yeah. No, I mean, I do. No, I totally think they can. So
find me somebody that reads PCAPs on a Friday night for enjoyment. Okay, if there's somebody on the chat that enjoys PCAPs, let me know.
But no,
you're very right though, Eric. I mean, I just the other day I was on somebody's website and they were like, "Oh, take our cyber quiz to see what your career is going to be in cyber," and it was like a 3-question thing, and it's like, boom, you should be, and I can't even tell you what it was. It wasn't threat intelligence. It was something very standard, probably was SOC or something. But I was like, how could you possibly tell it after 3 questions? Yeah. But, that's why I think you really find a system that gives you a nice little variety. If you feel you need that, or you find a great mentor like Eric or somebody that's giving you that advice to say, hey, try these things out. But regardless, even if this fits out for me, what it should be, I read this. No.
So we do have
a happening Friday night.
Yeah, we do have a few questions before we get to them.
Yeah.
I did want to say, so part of the problem is that when we look at TV, when we look at cybersecurity, everybody sees the offensive side, the hacking side, the sexy side, or so what they think is the sexy side. But let's be honest, and what a lot of people don't realize, and we're going to talk about it, is that probably 60 to 70% of your job is fucking writing reports.
It is.
It is not breaking into
for
shit.
Sure.
It is not sitting here being like, oh, I'm a coward, I'm going to do this. No,
Yeah.
homie. You're going to write a report on everything you just did.
Yeah.
And depending on how long that pen test was, it's going to take you about 2 weeks.
Right.
So-
Right. For sure.
And
I heard that
forget
coming in here. Everybody wanted to do that, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that sounds cool to do the whole side, you know, with breaking in and sneaking around. And of course that's cool. But, you know, as I said, the reports is really where it's at. That's what your job is primarily going to be around. And those were some of my hottest posts. I'll tell you, when I found like copies of reports or something that were related to pen testing, people were all on that. They loved it because it was something I think that might be, I don't know if it's a little harder to find. I don't find them everywhere, but people know now. I think it's starting to get out. Like, this is not as easy as you think. It's not just what you see here on the movies and on the big screen and what looks cool. There's really a lot more involved.
So you're telling
Hold
me
on, they've broken through my seventh. They've broken through my 7th firewall. I need to put another one. Oh, there you go. I've got a new firewall there.
Four hands typing on the keyboard, you know, that works. But so we do have a question here, and Jackson, thank you, Jax, for joining us today. I do.
Hey, Jax.
You have shared so much of our posts on LinkedIn, and I really appreciate it. And Kim,
she's great.
I'm sure you mentioned this earlier, but she did join a little bit later after you were telling your story. What motivated you really, truly to break into this industry and started learning this field?
Yeah, it was really at that time, like I said, I talked about it before, where in the past, you know, I had thought about cybersecurity because I have, my middle brother is a senior cybersecurity engineer and has been doing it for probably about 7 or 8 years now. So we talked about it all the time. We liked talking about the news when it came out. I couldn't get too technical with him, but during the pandemic, I went through furlough. And I knew it was going to lead to layoff. And I said, you know, this seems like a perfect time. I didn't think cybersecurity was going to happen for me. I thought it would just be something that I would maybe dream about, you know, and maybe pander in a little bit in my retirement or something, play around with it. But it really just all worked together. It's like it was meant to be. So I went for it, dove head in.
And honestly, it's one of those things that, you know, again, Eric mentioned it. We get a lot of questions of how do I get into cybersecurity? How do I learn cybersecurity? How do I do all these?
Sure.
And again, like you said, it's very hard to find those resources. And my first question is, everybody, what do you enjoy? What or at least what do you know about cybersecurity? Are you coming to me telling me you want to be a hacker and learn how to hack into like Facebook, or are you coming to me telling me you actually want to understand?
Says the guy with the hackers poster right behind him.
I see it.
What? No.
I want to be cool
nice
like that.
I do. Look, I ain't gonna lie.
He's got the setup though, for real. Look at this. Got the screen in the back there. Yeah, I got to do some work.
I watch that like 3 times a year, 4 times a year. It's like once a quarter for me. I put on hackers while I'm working.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, I do.
You guys are too fancy for me.
I look at it and it's one of those things. So the fact that you got into this field and the fact that you took the fact that you knew there was so much information out there that it is very hard to correlate. It was very much to do. Which, by the way, if you didn't watch last week, you need to go get in touch with Simon Lindstedt.
Oh, I did. I was watching. That was a good episode.
You need to touch base with him. He's going to help you out. I guarantee
He's a good guy. I've actually worked with him a little bit, you know, kind of. Not really so much, but Jax has, and I've been involved with some of that too. So yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. So
love what he's doing.
I'm actually going to be on his show later on, and Hacker Valley Media. So if y'all don't know about Hacker Valley Media, I'm be on.
Oh, they're the best. They're the best too. They have so much going on. I mean, unbelievable. All the shows. I did a post about them too, maybe last week or something. They sent me some swag and.
Did you see mine?
I don't know. What was yours, Eric?
He was on Hacker Blue Team. He was on. He was the
that
second
was
or
one that I missed.
for Davin Jackson. So
Hacker
for all
Blue
those
Team.
who don't know, Davin Jackson took over the Blue Team side of Hacker Valley Media's podcast and is doing a fantastic job. Which, in case y'all don't know, here at CyberWarriorStudios, we promote everybody. We don't give a damn. Hell, I got Eric on my show. Old man River over
Eric,
there.
you say this all the time.
But we do have another question for you. Yes, if you're not subscribed to Eric Velardo, please after this show go ahead and subscribe or open another tab. I already know you got 50 of them open.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna throw this one up here for Jackson Gerald then. So, go ahead.
There you go.
I don't have any digital effects, but there you go.
So we do have a question though from Jess Bishop. What are your TCPs
Jess,
for time management? You do so many things, and she's always amazed.
Man, you're awesome, Jess. No, I could say the same for her. She is so active in the community. Like we're on the streams and all that stuff together, always chatting it up. She always shows up. I don't know. Honestly, I had to ask on the stream, on Jax's stream the other day on Outpost Gray, I was asking Alyssa Knight, how she keeps up with everything. She's got her portfolio is like an empire. It's unbelievable. All the companies she has, it's just so much going on. And that was my question to ask her was, what are you doing to keep up? And she really keeps a tight wrangle on her time. And that's something that I'm actually, honestly, right now, I'll be 100% transparent. I'm struggling with that. So it's something that I really learned. And it was a valuable lesson listening the other day to Alyssa to say that, really, that's really what it is. It's as simple as that. It's simple and hard at the same time, right? To be able to manage your time. But I do a lot of time blocking and things like that, but just really being a little more strategic with it, sticking to it. And I also found that those midnight hours I'm really productive and tend to get a lot done. So kind of maybe steering back to that to me. So I would say for myself. So whatever you find works for you, if you're able to maybe get by and kind of shift those hours a little bit differently where, I don't have children, so I don't have to worry about that. But I know a lot of people do, and there's different scheduling and things that you have to deal with. So so I'm one of those, zero over here. But yeah, so, do what you have to do to figure out what is that time that you're most effective. A lot of people say it's in the morning. For me, task oriented maybe, but if I really need to be creative and I need to put some thought and some critical thinking behind some stuff, that's probably not the best time for me because I'm a little more check off the checklist at that time and seeing where things are going and planning for the day. So I've found that that's really my zone is a little bit later at night. So if I need to get things done and be a little more creative or pump out a little bit more, I will also use that to my advantage too. So that's probably something that, again, it's always a work in process. I am not at all, I struggle myself all the time. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I hear you on that. And you talk about the midnight hours. Some of the best work I've ever done is when I haven't slept through the night. My mind, I was on a post earlier this week and I said something and it was, my mind works best late at night. Like as I'm going to lay my head down to go to sleep, my brain's like, you ain't sleeping yet. Go ahead. and so
we're about to deep drag. Hold on.
I have learn your at 4 o'clock in the morning to go do work.
Yeah.
And learn your energy patterns. And what I mean with energy patterns, not the energy that comes out of you, but your energy.
Yeah.
Like for me in particular, I used to be a wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, have the 4 to 7 for myself and building things. And that changed for me, late 40s.
Sure.
I can't be productive between, unless I sleep, from like midnight till 6:30 now. And that changed, and you will change your patterns. So now for me, it's like, okay, so I do my focused tasking in the morning with, work and those kinds of things. My afternoon, I have my dip, after a certain point. But then from like 7 to 10, I get some energy there. And then around 11, I shut down again. So learn your patterns. And the other thing that's very important is use a scheduler. Use some sort of a scheduler for your things, for your taskings. Doesn't have to be, every second of the day, but a taskings manager. I mean, I use kind of a modified, like mind map that I do. I have a mind mapper that I use, and I put all the tasks that I want to accomplish, and then I put all my subtasks for that, and then I just start checking them off. And that's how I become more productive for, doing Raíces Cyber, doing my job, doing these shows, doing the videos, all the things. Jack says
Cyber
she
games.
uses Notion, the cyber games, the stuff that we're doing with Neil. So there's different tasks out there and planners, and use things like I call it the tomatoes, but the Pomodoro techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just use what you find, try things. And again, going back to what I said earlier, is try things, see what works. Don't just go with the flow with everybody. Just use what works.
And see,
And I would also say too, to be okay with it, right? So like, I think that's part of what my evolution I'm going through now is, like you said, learning your energy zones and the times and your frames of when you're down and up, and it's okay. Like Alyssa said, she actually takes naps, and she found that makes her super efficient. And I'm like, well, of course it makes sense. My mother takes naps during the afternoon, and she gets back up, she's great. It makes a lot of sense. People do it all the time, but why do we come from this, I don't know if
Around
I say like
5.
era or whatever, where that's not the way you do it.
It's
you
not
don't sleep during the day as an adult, and that's not how you get things done. But actually,
no.
all of us get stuff done.
It's not an era. It's not an era. It's a location.
It's a location. Okay.
In the U.S., we have been ingrained to work and burn ourselves out.
Oh, sure.
When you look at other countries, they have siestas. They
Holiday.
have times where you.
Why did you go there? Siestas for the Hispanics? What do you?
I'm
you got
saying
over there,
I'm saying, look, they understand the point of, look, yes, it's okay to work, but it's not okay to burn yourself out.
Right.
And so, Eric, you need a sombrero, and you'll be all right. But but yes, they do. They have these times where they close their offices, they close things. But here in the U.S., we're not accustomed to that.
No, we're not.
For me, like, every store is like, hey, we're open from 8 to 5. And it's like, I work from 8 to 5. How the hell am I going to go do what I need to do? Because I got to work.
Right.
So it's just a huge, huge issue here in the U.S. where everybody's open at the same time and you feel like you always got to be there. I will say this. There are organizations out there. I ain't going to say which ones, but there are some very good organizations that allow you that time to take a nap, to take a break, to take a rest.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I got a chair in my office at my desk that lays flat. I have literally cranked that thing back and been like, you know what? I'm taking a break.
I have a sofa back here, so but no, it's important.
The flexible scheduling and really being okay with that as a company, not just saying, oh yeah, flexible schedules, but everybody feels like you have to be there every minute,
Even if you don't have that flexible, make sure that you schedule yourself some time, some downtime, because people this is fact, science, that if you keep on working, the more time you keep on working, the less effective you become.
Right.
So
efficient. Exactly. Yeah.
the efficiency drops severely. So take times to recoup. Go for a walk. Go take a 15-minute nap. Do things to energize yourself. But again, what works for you might not work for somebody else. But the bottom line is, take time for yourself. Don't burn yourself out. Cybersecurity is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And we continue to learn every year. It doesn't matter if you've been in the field for 1 year or 30 years or 40 years, you will constantly be learning. So, just don't try to learn everything at one point.
Eric
you'll drown.
Eric and Kimberly, apparently we need to take a lesson from Al Cartman Colo down there.
Oh,
He's got a full-size massage chair in his office.
Perfect. Did the company spring for that? No, that's a good
Damn
company.
you, homie.
There you go.
He's
Can I get a full-size massage chair, please?
Look, he's a patron of mine. I love that man. He's doing great things.
You see people in the mall and they're like,
awesome.
oh, yeah, this is great.
Right.
I asked
love
for
it.
one of those, but they denied it.
All
I
right,
wanted the
all right.
whole one with the legs that have the
Right.
massage
Oh
on the
yeah.
legs and stuff.
They have them at the
But we
furniture
do.
store. I saw
We do. Look,
Ah,
as much
yes.
as I hate
it.
California, and I don't ever want to go over and move to Cali. It's just, it's not me. It's not who I am.
Yeah, yeah,
Google got that on point with the net pods and the game time and just everything else
yeah,
that they got
yeah,
going on at our
yeah,
campus.
yeah.
I will admit that.
I
I will
agree. I agree. I don't
say,
want to move to Cali, but they've got some great things going. They've got some great companies and stuff out there too. Yeah, got some cool
yeah,
stuff for sure.
tell them it's an
I'll go for a
ergonomic
visit.
desk.
What'd they say?
Ah, tell
Oh,
them it's an ergonomic desk when you pay
there
for it.
you
Look,
go. There you
I want
go.
that gaming one. I ain't gonna lie. The one that like you lay down and the whole screens come over
Oh
you and
no,
it's just
Oh,
I
all one
saw
stop
that
it.
big web.
one. The one that
I haven't.
opens and moves like that, like a dentist chair. I saw that one, but my first thought was, I'm gonna fall asleep on that thing. I wouldn't do any work. I'm like, okay.
Should be pinging Eric.
Oh
Eric, where's
god.
Eric?
Yeah.
He's
Bing,
not
bing,
answering.
bing. Teams
So
call. Ah.
so yeah, it is great. And Kimberly, with everything. So I believe we talked, and you're not necessarily. Are you currently working in cybersecurity as we speak beyond
Well, actually, I have for the past couple of months, I have not done any major announcements or anything like that, but I have been working with Cat's Eye and Play Cyber on their marketing team. Yeah, so I know you all know them very well. So Eric does a lot with them,
I,
Psycognito as well. We're
I
just
don't
looking
know
at,
Jess.
yeah, yeah, no, no, not at all, not at all. So, so yeah, it's not a true tech position. I always say that. I like to clarify, but I'm still learning the tech on the side. I really want to apply it at some point, but I think the learning the learning side is really a lot to help me with like Cybersecurity Central. I really want to get into education, training, doing some courses, but being like really out of the box with it. I think there's a lot of training and stuff
So
out there. So Michelle and I are working on some of that behind the scenes too.
so I'm
But
gonna slap your hand. I'm gonna
yeah,
slap your hand
love it,
really
love it.
bad. Okay? Because you just said that your current position is not in cyber.
No, I said
Okay?
no. It's not technical. It's not
Okay,
tech. It's not a
technical.
tech cyber
I was gonna
position.
say
But it is
we're about
cyber. I
I
do
got a
agree.
bunch of people coming on next week that are cyber, though they're not technically in cyber because people like to
Mhm.
gatekeep. I got a
Yes.
huge episode planned for next week, and for you to sit there and say that, they'd be mad.
Oh yes.
They'd be big mad.
Yeah.
and
No, no,
and
no.
and
No,
that's
it's
and that's a big
definitely.
thing because
Yeah.
cyber the field of cybersecurity, we'd like to say, oh well, I'm not in the tech cyber or not in the, like that. In
Mhm.
that phrase to me like starts burning because you look at the education component of cyber, you look at the security awareness piece, and
Mhm.
the
Which I love too.
company that you are
Mhm.
in is founded on the concept of marketing of cyber, the cyber awareness pieces and things of that nature. And
Yes,
that's a
for sure.
very
For sure.
important part.
It is. It is.
So it's I love I don't like, I don't like to use the word hate, but I don't like when people say, well, education, security awareness, a GRC or anything like that that is not touching a keyboard, if
Technical.
you will.
Yeah.
I don't It's all cybersecurity to me.
It
And it's
is.
very
It is.
important.
It is.
So
It is.
don't say that. Don't
I
say that.
know. I know. Can
Okay.
you tell that's probably just it's an insecurity thing because I don't know.
Yeah, it
I don't
is.
want to be upside down. That's all it is. So I think I like to just. You don't want to get caught up and have people like, oh, so you're
Well,
in
I'll give
security.
you I'll
So
give you
let's
another one.
talk about and get down to some big tech talks. I'm not there yet,
Well, I'm going to
but.
give you another one. There's a
Mhm.
whole field of, PMs, project managers, program
Yes.
managers, directors, the management. And when
Hmm.
you get in that, you're 90% non-technical,
Right.
meaning you're not putting your hands on the keyboard.
Right.
And, are those people that are senior that have been in these fields for long, are they technical or are they non-technical? So,
Yeah. Yeah. I think a
are
lot of it
are
depends on the point of view. It's really,
yeah,
it
so
depends on what your concept of technical or cybersecurity looks like, right? So I think we all kind of place that on ourselves.
And the other
But
one is for
this is
that
a great
insecurity.
Miranda. The
Yeah.
other one is what?
And the other one about the insecurity that you said,
Yeah.
I always try to give the senior people this, big eye opener. And
Hmm.
it's, you've been in that senior position, you've been 10, 15 years in the field. But guess what? The things that you learned in your first year are probably not what you're doing now, because
Right.
technology change every 1 to 5 years.
So much.
So
Liar.
Yeah.
No, it
technically,
doesn't.
Yeah.
in the
No. Mm-mm.
technology that you're doing right now,
No, it
you're
stays the same.
probably 1 to 5 year.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy. Just like the certifications, right? I mean, they're coming out with new ones all the time because everything's constantly changing. So I totally agree. Yeah.
And
Totally
and
agree.
it goes beyond that. The fact remains, in order to, whether you're sales, marketing, PR, and again, I got a big episode next week, so make sure you tune in. But any of these career fields that aren't technical, right? So you're not a SOC analyst, you're not an engineer, you're not a pen tester, you're not a CISO, you're not red team, you're not blue team, whatever. The fact is, in order to do those jobs, whether it's law, whether it's PR, whether it's marketing, whether it's whatever the case, you still have to understand what the hell the field is about in order to do your job efficiently. And you're muted, Kimberly,
Yeah,
in case
exactly.
you
Yeah, I was saying right. Sorry. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. You do.
and so you may not be technical, but for anybody to come here and tell me that any of my GRC consultants that I got working for the company that I work for is not in cybersecurity,
Right.
I'm sorry. Get out of here. Like, I will go to war for my
Right.
consultants that,
Right.
I work in a company that we have GRC, we have blue team, we have red team. We're all in cybersecurity.
Yeah, everybody plays their part. You know what I mean? I feel like also in hospitality, that's what I liked about it so much, was that it was such a cross-functional industry that I mean, like, it's pretty much like what I grew up in. That's what I'm used to with jobs, So coming into, that's why I love about this new position too, is that it's really like an integrated role. It's not just a marketing manager or, the sponsor and influencer, program. And it's really a nice variety of different things. So it's it very much so, like I said, in hospitality, that progression of trying different things, like Eric was talking about earlier, being able to find what you really love. I didn't know about recruitment when I first started out in hospitality. I had no idea that's where I was going to go, but just trying different things leads you to other things sometimes. Sometimes you go for one thing and you're like, I think my dad was doing this back in the day when he was looking to go back to college again, and he wound up going for pharmacy. But prior to knowing, he was going to JC, junior college at the time, and he was trying to decide, like, what do I want to major in, and he heard some guys, he was thinking originally somewhere in one of the engineering lines doing something, and he heard some of the guys talking about pharmacy, and it just sparked something in him. He had his son, my youngest brother, was super diagnosed with like ADHD and all this stuff, just off the charts. So it was a perfect match for him too. So I think, like you said, we find where we're supposed to be over time. I think just being patient with ourselves is a big factor in that. And, and knowing what we all do is valuable. I think that's something I always believe in. And being able to take all this information, I might not use it right at the moment, but even when I'm doing maybe some campaigns or something like that, just having some knowledge about some of these, the programs, some of the companies, some of the, just all the different things that I'm picking up and learning do come into play. Just even like, it was great knowing Eric Bellardo already, and, his foundation, and just, there's so many of those things come into play. People say that, in cybersecurity, it's such a small world, and the people that you meet, you will constantly continue to meet them over and over again. So do not think that, if you meet somebody that you don't like, you can just write that off or do whatever you want, because that's going to be somebody who you're going to either need or is going to be involved in something later on with you too. So that's one thing I would say. Always be nice, always be courteous, try to make those relationships and foster them, and don't be mean to people, because they're going to come back around.
Okay, I'm going to be mean to somebody. That's taking it a little bit too far there, Sergeant A. Okay? Okay?
Yes,
that's taking it a little too far.
This is my buddy Sergeant AR. He always has to come with the quips. Bastard. He has to do it. But yes, it is. And it is. We're going to learn so much, but we got to be willing to learn from each other.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, as well as I do, Kimberly, and Eric knows, that we're going to have those people that try to tell you you're not in cyber, or if you don't know this, you don't belong here, or, whatever. You're going to have those people. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it except, you know what? Let me find someone new. And I'm going to go talk to this person. Yeah. And so I tell people all the time, reach out to Eric and Raices, reach out to myself, reach out to you, reach out to Josh Mason of Cyber Supply Drop. Reach out to all these other organizations that are doing huge things.
Who's that? Josh who? Cyber Supply what?
What's that? Yeah, and I just want to, he's so awesome. We love Josh. I was just going to mention before I forget while you're saying that, people complain a lot about, you'll hear these types of things, or we'll hear people say these things and we're like, we don't agree with that. That's not cool. Why are you saying that? That's what's, creating a barrier and all of that. But you can, people are like, oh, LinkedIn, it's so negative, and you hear all these, there's a lot of, junk in there. How do you maintain your LinkedIn? Because I think I love LinkedIn. I love my feed, but I nurture my feed too. So when you start seeing those things and you see people with those posts, or you see people that like other people's posts, so then they show up in your, feed, and it's not those things that you're in line with or agreeing with, take a second, hit those 3 buttons, figure out how you want to filter and remove that stuff, and start catering to your feed a little bit more, because that is what will keep you engaged, and keep, that new content coming in, and those people and that positivity, because I see a lot of people get down. And they're like, I can't.
The important part about networking in LinkedIn and all that stuff, it's people think networking for the sake of network. Build the relationship, and then you network.
Fostering of those relationships. You're not going to, I have over 5,000 connections or something like that.
I think I do too. I accept everybody. I don't say no.
I do have those that I found along the way, like Jack Scott, and the Gerald Osiers, and you guys, those people, Josh, Mason, and just all of these great people that are out there. And
I'm going to unfollow you from that one.
You build on those over time, and that's really where you get the value out of it. And you don't just take from them. You also want to reach out and give back to them, share some of their posts, give them a little bit of love, show up in their lives. And we can't do everything. Even today was insane. I was telling you guys before I came on here, usually Thursdays is live stream crazy day. Friday today was just everything mixed together for me, plus trying to, chime in on all of my buddies' live streams. And it was just craziness. But, sometimes that's what we do, though, to show up for other people and, support what we feel is something that's beneficial for others too. So I would just say that, for other people too, if you see those people out there, whether they're big influencers or not, whether they're leaders or just students starting out, if they are going the extra mile and they're really putting, the effort, towards trying to really dive into this field and figure things out, help them. Don't be the one to just either scroll past and not say anything, or maybe it's not in the direct comment. Maybe you do it on the DM. But I can't believe you got a video of her now. I remember this before you used to have her in the chat. That's hilarious. And she's hip hop granny too.
So one of the big things I do want to point out, and this gentleman has put out some wise words of wisdom.
That's too much.
Is Mike Miller, and I'm gonna put his LinkedIn in the chat. So for anybody that's watching, please go follow this guy.
He puts out stuff every day. Yeah, great
every content. Day. And it's funny because he always has some random picture of himself dressed professionally or semi-professionally. And you're like, what the hell is he talking about? And
yes, he will, here, or something.
It'll be an essay of a post, but it's always words of wisdom.
Yeah.
So please, if you're not following this man, go follow him.
Agreed.
But it is crazy because one of the things I do want to touch on, though, is you mentioned, if they like something or repost something that you don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where I'm going to get probably some hate, but.
Oh, wait.
I will say this. It is okay to mute words and mute certain posts, certain types of posts. You will never see me get political or anything like that on any social media. But if you want to curate knowledge, keep it down to all you want to see is cybersecurity and IT, then those are the only words you should see. If you want motivation, then pull motivation in there too.
Right.
But I highly, whether or not you agree or disagree with somebody's political or other stances they may have, you still may be missing out on knowledge they can bring to you from a
Oh yeah, for
different
sure.
spectrum
For
of the
sure,
field.
100%. Yeah, I have people in my feed and people that I'm friends with and connections with where I totally am in disagreement with a lot of the stuff they say. But it's not something that's going to make me unfollow them. It's more of like something where if I would see somebody like we were talking about earlier, that's really just putting down and saying that, you can't be a marketer and be in cybersecurity. People who do this are fools, and just that random, really off the wall, crazy stuff, which is all over now. I mean, unfortunately, it is on LinkedIn,
Yep.
just like that as it is on Twitter and everything else. So, that's the stuff you have to start to filter a little bit for yourself. Take some time to do that. Don't just scroll by, because the more you just keep scrolling, the more it's going to fill up your feed, and then you're going to get aggravated and you have to spend more time to do it. But yeah, you always want to have diversity of thought. Hey, that's our hashtag. One of our hashtags for Cybersecurity Central is diversity of thought. That is
You guys stole that from us.
I know it's a big one on LinkedIn. It's a big one, but yeah, it's super important, as you know too. So yeah, you definitely want to keep it diverse. Don't just keep your own thought process going, for sure. Thanks for clarifying that too, Derek, because that's a good point.
Yeah, because we tend to be like, oh, I disagree with them because they voted for someone, or they agree with someone I don't agree with. But look,
talking
here's
about
the
a
thing.
hot topic, whatever.
When it comes to cybersecurity, when it comes to IT,
Mhm.
unless they come out the woodwork and start gatekeeping and telling you you can't be in this field, I'm still going to listen to your IT and cyber knowledge. Whether or not I agree with you on any other spectrum, that is still knowledge that I can gain. And this is why I say
resources and connections and who knows what. Yeah.
Yes. And one of the things you should do, and this is the way I brought myself up. So I take a claim to always saying I want to be the best in this field. I do. I'm never gonna be, but I claim to be. And it's not out of cockiness, it's not out of arrogance. It's because if I don't believe that in myself, then I'm afraid to learn from other people. And we all have ways of learning from others. It all takes a certain mindset. Some, if they feel they're the best, they don't want to learn from anybody. Me, in order to be the best, I have to learn from everybody else. Because if I learn what you know and you refuse to learn what I know, now I am better than you. So it depends on how you want to adjust your mindset. But for me, I always say, if I go into a room, I want to be the dumbest person in the room. I do. I want to be the dumbest motherfucker there.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to go there and learn from everybody else. And if you refuse to teach
not
me,
a stretch for you.
Guess what? Bow, there's the door. If you ain't gonna teach somebody else, see you later.
It's not a stretch.
Agreed. Eric, your background just keep changing. Like, look at now, you got a teal to match the side. What do we call her? Dancing Granny.
That's Dancing Granny.
I thought so. But she was just back in the day. She was just in the chat, right? Like this little meme or something that was in the chat that we could throw in there on Twitch.
He may have.
I remember something like that. I don't remember full video mode on her though. That's awesome.
Yeah, we do, and Kim, it is. It's one of those things. I want to see everybody succeed. So one of the things I did today, and so I hope you saw it on Twitter. If you haven't, you need to go take a look. Is I want to see everybody's content. Who do you follow? Who do you know? It could be IT, it could be cyber, it could be motivation, it could be music, it could be whatever the case may be. Because we can all learn something from somebody else. We can all learn from their music. We can all learn from what they know. We can learn from everything. Agreed. So it's not just about promoting other people. It's also about the ability to learn. So you have to be able to take that into account.
Oh, yeah,
Kev takes a trip. I love Kevin.
Yeah, we can always we all have something to teach. I say that a lot, like even coming in and being new, like I said, I had really no clue. I knew what I was finding and researching and stuff, but didn't have experience in the field or anything, but I was still able to help a lot of people out. So it doesn't matter where you are, what level, young or old, there's always, I love that one. There's always something that we can do to contribute. So what's this one?
And so Jack's put up here, I've embraced failure as a different shade of success.
I love that.
Here's the kicker for that. You only truly fail if you refuse to pick yourself back up.
True. Very
So
true.
so we're all gonna make mistakes.
Hard
We're
thing
all
to do,
gonna
though.
fall.
Sometimes I know myself, I
Okay.
like dragging, picking myself up sometimes, but as long as we get up,
As
that's,
long as you get
And
back
since
up
we
on your
got
2
it,
feet.
I'm gonna drop some other one. Fail. First attempt in learning.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it really is how we
It's
learn.
right
I
there.
think some of our biggest lessons we say are from those failures, right? So,
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
learn more from your failures than you do from your successes.
and
So,
grow, I think, from them
boom.
too, So, yeah.
Oh,
I
without a
did.
fact. Or
Yeah.
And
without a doubt.
Jax says, boom.
Boom.
Mic drop. I'm not dropping my mic because it'll break and then you won't be able to
Right.
hear me. But
You're yeah, like I used to have smoke e-cigs and stuff back in the day. What is? Oh, okay. Now you're on the beer. Well, look, there you go. I'm like, you guys are making me want to vape again or something. Two of you. Look at this. His dad.
look, hey,
Yeah, I know. Oh, that's what I was gonna
he
say.
got
How did
8
you
and I got
yeah.
5. We're
Oh,
me
wait.
and Eric.
Eric, you have 8? Oh my gosh.
He has 8 and I've got 5 boys.
Whew, no way. I had three brothers that are all younger. I'm the oldest out of 4, and yeah, that was a little shit show there. So
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yep. And
I got 7 boys,
Can't
1
imagine.
girl.
wow, one girl.
1
Oh,
girl.
she
She's
wasn't
a-
the last one either. He kept going after having a girl, and I don't know why.
my mom said she should have stopped at the last one because the last one was just.
We didn't have a TV.
Oh well, there you go.
That's what happens when you were born during
Too
the,
creative,
during the
creative
dinosaur
mind
age.
there. No,
But
seriously
no.
though, guys, I really appreciate it. This has been so much fun, and I'll have some more to talk about, in the future. I'd love to have you guys on too once we get Cybersecurity Central, going and online. Right now, we're just pushing over stuff from LinkedIn onto our YouTube, but hope to expand and build that out a little bit more in the future. But yeah, really been a great opportunity here. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
All right,
Yeah,
sounds
definitely.
wonderful. And I'm
Definitely.
hoping to have you on my show too. So if you guys don't know it, we have a show as well that we're going to get started again on my YouTube channels on Thursdays.
There we go.
Eric Blardo Cyber. And we're going to start the Rises live again and the new Battlefields again here very soon. So please follow us here as well, and I hope to see you in our new Battlefields and Rises live as well. So, and of course, we've got Kev Tech out there, Kevin, who has a great program. Follow him as well, and all the friends. I mean, again, we have we have a great community of cybersecurity people. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And so one of the things
I
I do
will
want to
do that.
say, and she joined today. She has been a huge supporter of Nest Hacks. Look, if you're not listening to her podcast, it's a lot of motivation, a lot of getting out of your head, and a lot of other things. So if you
Oh, love
listen to
it.
audio podcasts, please check out Nest Hacks. I do call
Did you
her
throw that
out.
in chat?
Vanessa, is she there?
Nest Hacks?
She is in chat. Vanessa is in chat. I
So
called
Nest
her out earlier.
Vanessa. Nest Hacks.
So
Okay.
if you look for NESSHAXS.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Nest Hacks.
XS. That's what
Yes.
does it.
And
Okay.
if you look that up, you
Oh,
will
got it.
find her
Boom.
on podcasts. She puts out some amazing stuff.
Check it
Look,
out.
There's
Love
some
it.
great
Donde
people around.
está Vanessa? Ah, there she is. Hey.
Love it. I'll
So,
add it to my list for sure.
Yes. It's very short. It's not like this show. Hers are like 5,
That's good.
10, 15
Yeah.
minutes. So
I love all these different increments people do. I think it all works. Everybody figures out what's best for them. Some people do like these 10. And do you guys know Monica Burma?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love her stuff. There's so much good stuff out now. So
I think
yeah.
I'm going to start a cybersecurity ASMR, one of those, hello, let's talk about cybersecurity today.
So,
I love it.
So one of the things I will say before we cut off, look, Kimberly, give us your final words, and then we'll go to Eric.
Yeah, no, for sure. Really just appreciate everybody tuning in today. I know you could be doing a lot on this Friday evening. So really appreciate you just taking your time. And if you have not already been following us over on Cybersecurity Central, would greatly appreciate that. You can find me there, and this my handle there, K Can Fix It at Twitter. But on LinkedIn, it's Kimberly Can Fix It, and then Cybersecurity Central org. So feel free to hit us up there. Check us out on our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday posts. And Monday, we do a This Week post, which is a nice little wrap up of a lot of the different cyber events that are happening, virtual events throughout the week. So hope to see you guys soon.
That's awesome. Eric, go ahead.
And I'm just going to say to everybody, please make sure you like this video. Come back after the stream is done, make a comment in there. And all of Kim's links for her Twitter, her LinkedIn, her community site are in the description of this video. So hit it up there. Like you guys know, last week I wasn't here, and a lot of changes have happened in the family, in the house, and with my career. I started a new job May 2nd for a major corporation. That's been a very big change for us. So there's a lot of changes happening, a lot of changes with Raices. We're going to be doing some new stuff here for the association, working with different organizations and some surprises that are coming up because we are making some connections with some very large organizations that are going to be joining the Raices family. So looking forward to all the new stuff. I wish you all a wonderful weekend and a wonderful next week, and I'm hoping to see you guys next week at this time. So Cyber Warrior, take it away.
Look, everybody, hey, it's been a pleasure having you all here. This is Security Happy Hour presented by CyberWarriorStudios. And I just want to say, if you have not liked, commented, or subscribed on this or any other channel out there, you are seriously being a detriment to those that are trying to promote content that you're putting out. So I don't care if it's KevTech IT, Nest Hacks, or anybody else. If you can rate it, like it, comment, share, whatever the case may be, it really helps out all of the creators that you watch on a regular basis. So please do so. Otherwise, look, it has been an amazing Friday, and I truly, truly am grateful for Kimberly joining us here today. We have an awesome episode planned for next week with a bunch of people. I think we're up to 6 guests. So seriously, you're going to miss out if you're not here live. Eric is always bringing in Dancing Granny and Dancing Robot. So please join us live if you can. If not, I truly appreciate you joining after the fact. Just make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.